And I am live. Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. In this week's episode, I want to focus on talking about creating a solid and long term economy proven business plan for your dental startup. I was motivated to doing this as part of a series of episodes that I'm going to be conducting over the course of the next couple of weeks to make sure that we are creating your dental startup survival kit. I come with a lot of background and experience, having gone through the previous market crash of 2008 and personally being there as there were so many changes in the economy with insurances and being part of an expansion that led to becoming a DSO pretty much during that challenging time. I know the steps and the process of both going through a difficult time and also thriving during difficult times. They say that success is where opportunity and planning meet. And I want to empower anyone listening, anyone watching to get ownership of the process of owning their practice and really investing the time on putting together the processes in place that they need in order for them to build a successful dental practice for the long term. So when it comes to this episode that I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to focus on the steps that are within a business plan. But more than anything, I want to give you kind of like three main ideas or pointers that you should consider when you're developing this. And if anything, what I want to do mostly is to shift your mindset around why you need a business plan and what to use it for. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to create it or what main points to focus on, but mostly anything, I want to talk to you about the reason why it's so important to do it. So I'm really excited for today's episode. Let me know in the comments if you're able to hear me and see me, okay? And we'll jump right in. So basically, the three main points that I want to focus on are, or the three main parts that I want to focus on are the defining the vision and mission statement for your business or for your business plan. I want to focus on also in the market research and analysis, competitive analysis that is so important, and the component of doing the developing your financial plan. Why is this so important, and why did I choose to discuss and talk about this topic? Well, one of the main reasons why I did this is because a lot of dentists that I talk to oftentimes come and think of a business plan as something that is just to help them get through the financing part, to just basically get funded for the project. And they don't really necessarily use it as a guideline and as a resource to anchor them, to basically help them own the process and make informed decisions along the way. And so my goal for today is to basically create that awareness and make you responsible for taking charge and doing the steps that are necessary for you to use this important piece of you deciding to start a business and doing the homework that is necessary for you to do that for our clients. And this is something that, I was just having a meeting with one of my clients on Friday. She started her seeing patients a month ago. And because I know that she had taken the steps from the very early ages, from conception of her starting her practice, I know that, and she shared with us that she was able to see the number of patients that was necessary for her to cover the expenses, which covers one part of the financial planning that is part of the business plan. So understanding each portion or each area of it and basically having all the resources and the tools and doing your due diligence is going to really help you navigate and start a business that it's economy proven. Again, I've been doing a lot of research and reading a lot, and it bothers me when I speak to dentists. Like, I also had a conversation recently with another dentist, and she's opening her practice, and I asked basic questions about where you're opening and how is it going, what decisions did you use, or what was the decision making process for this particular decision over the other. And it was just not solid. It was more like I know that there is this office, dental office there. How are you going to structure your fees? I'm not sure. And you owe it to yourself to do this because no one else is going to come out there to save you. You're out there putting yourself at risk by taking all this massive amount of loans. And myself, and I'm not the best fit for every doctor that I work with or that I talk to, and it's okay. I have a very well defined vision, and there are people that are in alignment with working with us. I make our doctors work and emphasize in certain things over others. While if it's important for them, they will follow our structure and they get the results that we envision for their projects. Like in the case of our doctor who just recently opened, had a list of patients prior to, and it's breaking even within month two, creating longevity in her workforce for her, for her team that was hired, starting to work with the community, serving the community, and really covering her expenses, which is the most immediate need that you have for your business on top of everything else. Because then you can go from there and working on other and focus on other areas. So, again, just to dive in, because I want to make sure that I jump into this right away. My goal again is to help you shift your mindset or idea around what the purpose and use is of a business plan for your startup practice, so that it's not short-sighted. I want you to create a long-term vision of how you're going to be utilizing this thing, starting with just owning the process and making sure that you take every step in it. So without anything else, let's jump in with the first point or part of the business plan. And if you at any point of time are in the process and you want to schedule a discovery call with me, or if you need a template, it's okay. We can share that with you. We have done it for many doctors in the past, but it's not something where it's a copy and paste. You do not want to have a business plan similar to when you ask one of your colleagues for say a copy of their employee manual and you just change it to your state, or if it's in the same state, you just kind of modify certain things here and there. Every business plan for every location is different, and you have to do homework around the different sections and map it all out and change. And there are going to be changes that are going to require for you to shift things moving forward or along the way. I personally just started making changes and did some competitive analysis and research as part of my business plan, so that I know more or less the changes in the economy and in the workforce and everything else, so that I am staying afloat. Everyone has this responsibility, and no one is going to come here to save you. So please keep that in mind as you're doing this and you're starting your business, whether you're working with a consultant, whether it's me or somebody else. Everyone's goal, including you as the owner, you have a superficial top layer, not in depth idea or concept of the importance and the need of you creating a solid, long term, economy proven business plan. So let's jump in and talk about the first part of the business plan that you need to work on, so that you can start doing this due diligence right away. If this is where you are in the process, if you are, let me know in the comments. And if you have one already, share with us what steps did you follow to take on and do and do this process yourself. So the first part of the business plan, or section, if you will, there are multiple layers, and I will go over them just briefly, because I know that I want to keep this lives short, is defining your vision and creating your mission statement. Why and why is it important, and how do you do it? Creating kind of like a clear and concise mission statement that is going to reflect what your practice's goals are and the values from you as a person, as an individual, as a member of the community, is going to really help you map out everything that you need to do to guide you and make sure that you are in alignment with something that pulls you forward into the future, and so that you can work with the right people at the right time and be in alignment with them. So I'll give you an example. I have a client. We worked on her project about, I want to say she's been open for about 2 years. When we made her go through this exercise, and again, full disclaimer for those of you who will be our clients in the future, and we welcome you and we're excited to work with you. I don't give you a copy and paste thing and just tell you to go. I make you work. We go over what needs to happen. Someone in my team takes charge of something, and you are responsible for completing certain tasks. Why? You need to own the process. It's not my office, it's your office. It's not the office of the vendors from Shine, from anywhere that you're hiring, all of the different vendors, all of the team of advisors. Own the process, empower yourself, and do the dirty work. No one is going to come to save you. When your doors are open and you're still working 6 months, a year into your startup as an associate someplace else, if you had a business plan and you took the time to map it out in a way that was beyond just simply making the selection of the practice and just getting funding from the lenders, you didn't do your due diligence. You deserve to still work as an associate. So take the time to go back, do your homework, and do not release the responsibility to anyone outside of yourself. Okay. People will provide you with guidance. I provide guidance and some done for you services that are extremely important and powerful for the doctors that we work with, so that we're able to guarantee their success and they're not out in social media making posts and doing this because they're too busy treating patients, which is the ultimate goal, right? Like, our goal is not to become famous because we started a business. Our goal is to be busy enough. Thank you, Douglas. Busy enough so that we can continue to serve them, serve our patients, serve our team, serve our community, serve our families, right? That's the most important thing. So, again, defining your vision and your mission statement is extremely powerful, and it's a very important part of your process. Douglas, you want to listen to this. You want to, again, I was going back and sharing the story for Dr. Claire, one of my former clients. She didn't really understand or have a good grasp of the exercise. So we made her go through this exercise that I recommend anybody that is starting a new business. Grab yourself a copy of the book Traction, and in that book there is an exercise called the EOS system, the Entrepreneur Organizational System. I'm a self implementer. I try to use it for the most part. And I tell my clients, one of the first gifts that I send my clients when we're working together is a copy of the book Traction. I have them read it. Then we go through a series of meetings to help them map out their vision and mission statement. We use this template as the exercise. I think I've shared it in the past in the group. If you don't, if you want a copy, I'll be happy to send that over to you. But you want that because it's going to help you start mapping out your organizational structure, who you're going to want to treat, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now, and what do you stand for? What is the purpose of you owning and starting a business? Without that clarity, you're going to have a lot of loose ends, and you're not going to be anchored into something that pulls you, something bigger than yourself, for your community, for the people that you're going to be serving, for your family. So for our doctor, she wanted to do certain things for her kids when they were a certain age, and we mapped it out from, reverse engineer from 10 years. Where do you want to see yourself? How many days do you want to work? Why do you want to do this? And from there on, we moved on to the different parts, and we were able to secure a team that was in alignment with her mission, vision, with her core values. She hired based on this. She created a culture based on this. And when we had a meeting about a year ago, a year into her being open for business, one of the very first things that she said to me, Maritza, every quarter I sit with my team and I go back to this worksheet that we put together at the beginning of us working as, for my startup. And it's so rewarding. I continue to go back to keep myself anchored. She was able to quit her associate position within 6 months. We had that all mapped out. You need to do this if you are serious about starting a business, not just the idea of having a pretty office that treats patients and then that you're not working for somebody else. That's what I mean. So Very important. If you haven't gotten your hands into the traction book, I would urge you to do that right away and start working on that. That's going to be your homework. We always do this for our clients. It's very fun to do that because we pick their brains and we get their husbands on the line, and it's a family affair, and it's nice, but it does the trick, and it's super important, and I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Second part, or point that I wanted to bring across today, has to do with something extremely crucial that a lot of dentists miss, and business owners in general, myself included, that you have to go back and reverse engineer and take responsibility and do it right, which is market research and competitive analysis. Okay. Who are you going to treat, and how are they going to afford your services? Why should you open another business? Like, the primary need for a business is that you have a service or a product that people want and need. And dentistry, for the most part, is a service that everyone needs. But if you're opening in a saturated area, and that brings me to the demographic analysis, which is the bigger part of the picture. The demographic analysis, the patient to doctor ratio, the age, the household income, and all of this information that is part of the demographic analysis, it's important for you to select your site. But to run your site, to run the business, there are other steps that are missed by a lot of dentists. And then they wonder why 2 years into their startup practices, they still have to pick up a day or two as an associate because they took a lump sum of money. They focused on the walls and the pretty, aesthetics of the practice without a solid long-term business plan. They had a short-sighted one that was just about enough to get them to select the site and to get them to get the funding that they needed. From there on, it was like, you need to work with this vendor and you need to purchase this equipment. It's nice. It's going to be state of the art. This is what I stand for, but you missed out on in-depth information that it's crucial to keep you in the game for the long run, especially with changes that are happening in the economy. Again, in 2008, I saw patients firsthand change, and small businesses lose their businesses, apply for different type of coverage. I said it on a post earlier. There are going to be, like, just Amazon is it's I think cutting back on like 9,000 employees. A lot of people, if the economy goes downhill, you need to make shifts and changes to your business model. If you didn't take the proper steps prior to opening and you overspend without guidance and without anchor, you're going to be at a disadvantage. Even if you're seeing patients, you may still be at a disadvantage over the dentist that took the time to do their due diligence and not just do the superficial work of doing a dental startup. So the demographic analysis is the first piece that most people want to focus on, but then you want to do a competitive analysis. You want to find out your pricing, your business model, your structure. How are the patients going to pay for the services that you are looking to do? What type of services should you incorporate given what your competitors are doing or not doing? I just finished telling you, I just finished doing a competitive analysis for my company for the different services. Before I launched my company, I did the same thing. I reached out to multiple companies, did my homework, and you know what? I was able to start creating programs that were filling a gap between what other companies were doing or not. And to my credit, I think that up until this point, there are certain companies and competitors that are shifting their model because you as a competitor also impact the decisions and the services and the structure that other dental practices will do in the area. So we have a current client that we're working with, and we had this session, and I sent her a worksheet of two competitors. I want you to list out who your top two competitors are. Go to their website. What do you see on their website? We're going to call the office and we're going to rank the customer service. We're going to check their fees. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. We had like 20 different checkpoints for our competitors, the people that we want to focus on, because, at the end of the day, I had a conversation with this dentist and I said, so what, do you understand more or less the pricing and the business model? She's like, I don't know. I think there's another office around there. Do you know how much they charge for X, Y, and Z? I don't know. I don't know. That's not an answer as an entrepreneur that is serious about starting a business, especially if you're taking massive loans and debt. You have to do your due diligence, guys. So our client, she had to go through this homework. We checked every aspect of, we helped her identify who this person is. Now we're working on her membership plan, right? How do we structure it? What criterias are we using? The information is out there. You cannot just use a business plan for the sake of just, I got the loan, forget about my business plan, it's over. Constantly, every part is important, and I don't want you to have any, I want you to have all your ducks in a row. Okay. So that one is important too. So that in this section, you're going to define your target market. You're going to define your services. Are you going to incorporate implants? If you're going to do any invasive cosmetic services, do you need to apply training for these services? Those are all the questions that during this particular part of your business plan, you're going to want to cover. And again, it's not for the immediate need. You're going to develop it as you go to keep you anchored, to keep you empowered, and to keep you accountable and taking ownership of the process. No one is going to come to save you. You have to take responsibility for following these steps yourself. Anybody that works with me knows we take partial responsibility on the task. You have to do your homework as well on the competitive analysis, coming up with, how the office is, what their website looks like or doesn't look like, their marketing strategy, customer service, everything we map out for our clients. But it's a dual responsibility. We help you get the task done that is going to help you open up the horizon and say, hey, I may be able to come in and disrupt the market by doing this or doing that. It helps you map out the strategy. Super important. Do not focus only on the demographic analysis, patient to doctor ratio. I had a client with an 800 to 1 patient to doctor ratio, and with a good strategy, she was able to make over $600,000 in her first year of business, right? In a saturated area in California, only because she took the proper steps to ensure that she was opening a practice for the long game, not just focusing on the first um, uh, areas of the business. So that's the second part. And thank you to those that are joining me. Hopefully, I don't know how to engage online, to be completely fair and honest. So I'm sorry. Just write things on the comments, because if I don't say my thoughts, I'm gonna forget, and then I'm not gonna bring my point across. But you guys will forgive me, I hope. Anyways, the third part of the business plan that I want you guys to focus on, super important again, that is going to help you do what my clients are experiencing, which is being so busy that they have to quit their associate jobs within months, is to create your financial plan. Developing your financial plan. It's the third section of the business plan that is going to help you stay anchored, and is going to help you create that long-term um, business, anchor, if you will. So this section basically is going to include things like your budget. Are you maintaining or creating a budget for your spending during the startup process? Are you just going into this, into all of the different conventions, and just going in and looking at the equipment and buying things as if you were literally buying for your first home? I'm telling you, the best way for you to do this is to create a budget. And we're going to have another session to talk about how to create and manage a budget. Again, this series is all about creating kind of like that survival toolkit for your practice. And creating a business plan is one of them, but making sure that you're maintaining and keeping track of your spending, making comparison charts, feasibility charts for all of the different areas of your business. It's extremely important. You also want to do in this area of your business plan your revenue projections. The revenue projections is going to then equate. And again, most dentists do the revenue projections just to get the bank to approve the loan. They don't really take it a step further by saying, wait, how is my compensation going to be? If you go to a convention and you want to get a piece of equipment, how are you paying for that piece of equipment? If you only focus on the demographic analysis and you don't do the competitive market research, you don't do the market research and find out who the employers are, and how the businesses are there in the area, how your patients have the disposable income to come to your office, then how are you planning on breaking even, covering your expenses, and then being profitable? One of the things that we help our clients do is to create this very, very thorough and very, very unique project projections of revenue in our for our clients. That, again, I just had a call with one of our clients on Friday. She was able to meet the number of patients that was necessary, that as we map them out in her financial projections. And the cash flow analysis is part of the financial plan for your practice. Again, you're going to do this for the startup costs, and you're going to want to do the revenue projections to show you the cash flow, and the cash flow translates into the procedure codes that you're going to be doing on the day-to-day basis, right? So it's not a product that you can easily just plug in and say, my product is $500, I need to sell this many units. In dentistry, every patient is going to come in for different things. You have different forms of reimbursement with the different insurance carriers. If insurance is part of the insurance mix, which in most cases, that is the case, whether you're in network or out of network, insurances are always part of the picture. And I have news for you guys. It's only going to get more complicated. It's going to get more challenging for you to be able to negotiate, for you to be able to manage the contracts between insurance companies to leverage reimbursement, because they have the attorneys, they have the lawyers, they have the resources to always be one step ahead of the game, and making sure that, especially after the last, COVID, and a lot of people losing their jobs now with all of these massive layoffs and the bank issues. Trust me, the same thing that happened in 2008, in 2000, and someone asked me recently, when was the last time, Delta Dental negotiated? I said personally, 2012, I think, was the last time that I was able to work it out with an agent for an insurance. Since there on, since 2009, after the market crash, and all and going forward, the Delta Dental seriously just went down the hill. And every insurance company out there is trying to replicate Delta Dental and compete with them. So a lot of negative changes are happening in terms of insurance companies, and you want to be mindful of that, and be also take into consideration as part of your financial plan and business plan for how you're going to be treating patients, to be constantly on top of this game. Okay, so that's the third part of the what did I do here? I started the I did something here. So those are the three sessions basically that I wanted to cover with you on this live, to talk about the importance and the need for you to develop a business plan that it's not short-sighted, only taking into consideration your immediate need to get funding, or for you to just basically start your practice. I want you to start using this as a tool that is going to help you, anchor you, and help you make decisions along the way, so that you can be one of these doctors who are thriving, not just surviving as business owners. You owe it, again, to yourself. You owe it to your families. You owe it to the community. And so for me, it's important that I do this kind of lives. Again, let me know in the comments if you need to have any resources. I'm happy to share those with you. Our template for making the competitive analysis, templates for making market analysis, in addition to the demographic analysis, which are extremely important. How to do the homework. It's so extremely important. We even have a template or an outline for how to develop a business plan. But again, you don't want to outsource the responsibility. You don't want to outsource the ownership of your practice, not to me, not to any vendor or company that you're working with. This is your homework. This is like what you decide to eat as you're pregnant, and you want to make sure that your child is going to be healthy once you have this baby. So just to sort of like to recap, today I covered three major parts of a business plan. The first one being developing your vision and your mission statement, which is extremely important. The second one is conducting market research that is not just a demographic analysis, but beyond that to make sure that you have a game plan. And also doing the financial assessment and financial plan, your break even analysis, your budget, your cash flow projections, all of that, so that you can be ahead of the curve and make sure that you have an economy proven, you know, process for every decision that you need to make and make changes along the way. Other things that are included in a business plan are an executive summary, the company overview, the organizational chart, your marketing plan, your operational plan, the management and team, description of all those things. Those are things that when we work with our clients along the way, our startup consulting clients, we help them map this out along the way. Um, so this is something that, again, it's not done in one shot, but you want to start doing the homework and start mapping this out. The earlier the better. Prices are only going to continue to go up. The economy in the insurances are only going to get smarter and more difficult to work with. So it is your responsibility. How important it do you find for dentists to establish their practice values? I've seen it very beneficial. 100%. So thank you for this question. So on the first part of the executive summary, when I was first talking, we were talking about something that pulls you and something that takes you as something bigger than yourself, right? So for me, I would share my core values, and every hiring decision that I make has to come from this value. So for us, it's transparency, guidance, accountability, results, and autonomy. So those are my core values. Again, if you guys have want to grab a copy of this book, Traction, it gives you how to do this. I'm not a sponsor. I'm not an implementer. I have some certified traction consultants that I love and I highly recommend. For me, it's just helping you treat your business like it's a big business. I have a team, everyone works remote. And my husband one time was making fun, like I was making fun of myself. One last thought, because my one of my team members, after we went through this exercise, we had our first team meeting in the city. We came on and she had an entire agenda with all of the things and our core values. And I came home joking to my husband. I was like, I came in and there was like this thing from the CEO and I was laughing about it. And my husband brought it out to my attention. He said, "Why are you laughing? You decided to start a business and you're setting the standard for how your business is being run. And you need to stop looking at it as if you're little. Doesn't matter the size of your company. You have to treat it. If you make the decision to create an LLC and go out there and render services to somebody else, do not treat yourself like you're little. Do not underestimate and undervalue what you have to offer. Go through the exercises the same as any bigger company out there has, like hospitals, institutions. They started with one small room in one small random place and they make it to where they are today. So to answer your question, it is extremely important for you to establish your practice values from the very beginning. It helps you get anchored to who you want to treat as a patient. You want to be in alignment with the patients and the clients that you're going to treat. You're going to attract the right people that are like, even the job descriptions and questions for the interviews that we develop with our clients are following the values that we set for the office to be the core values of the practice. So absolutely, so super important for you to develop these. And I'm so happy that you asked this question. If you do have any other questions, do let me know. So again, thank you so much for all of this. Thank you, Jesse, for stopping by. I love being connected with you. Thank you, Douglas, for showing up too. For all of you, thank you so much for the support. I hope you found this episode helpful, and I look forward to seeing you next time for my live. I'm going to try to see if I talk a little bit about budgeting and what areas of how to create a budget for your startup practice. And that's it. If you guys have any topics or questions that you want me do more videos on, by any means, let me know. And I would definitely try to, come in and share with you guys my experience. Again, I've been doing this for 20 some years, and I'm happy to share my personal experience and professional experience as well. Having said that, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. And until next week, bye bye.